talk about.
It's quite poor. Hello and welcome, my name is Ian, and if this is the first time that you've been here, this channel is all about music and art. And this is a series of videos about theatre at home. And I hope everyone is safe, well and keeping your distance from each other. There's a lot of great theatre out there on the interweb, and there's a link in the description to other shows that you might be interested in. But this video is about the next release from Hampstead Theatre, who so far over the last few weeks have shown us some fantastic theatre. Now this show goes live tomorrow morning, 13th of April at 10 AM, and it is drawing the line from Howard Brenton. This is a historical drama about the partition of India in August 1947. An act that was to have huge ramifications for the modern world, and it highlights this extraordinary chaotic political circumstances that lay behind such a momentous historic act. The play was first performed at Hampstead Theatre in 2013. The play opens in London in 1947, whereby Cyril Radcliffe is summoned to meet the Prime Minister and is given the unlikely mission. He has to travel to India, a country he's never visited before, with a limited survey information, with no expert support and no knowledge of cartography. He is to draw the border which will divide the Indian subcontinent into two new sovereign countries, one of which will become Pakistan, the other which will remain India. And to make matters even more challenging, he has only 6 weeks to complete the task, one which he is wholly unsuited for. Radcliffe is unprepared for the dangerous whirlpool of political intrigue and passion into which he's been plunged. As he begins to break under the pressure, he comes to realise that he holds in his hands the fate of millions of people. The play was directed by Howard Davis, with Tom Beard as Cyril Radcliffe, Silas Carson as Nehru, Andrew Havlin as Mountbatten and Abigail Crutherston as Antonia Radcliffe.
Well, I'm playing Cyril Radcliffe, who was the man that was employed by the Attlee government back in England, back in Britain, to go out and draw the line, that is to partition India. And he was an interesting choice as a candidate for this job because he'd never been to India before. In fact, he'd never been out of Europe.
My name is Paul Bazely and I'm playing Jinnah, who is the leader of the Muslim League. So at the time of independence, the Muslim League were very determined to get rights for Muslims in a Hindu-dominated India. So Jinnah pushed for separate rights in a federal India, in a power-sharing government, but they couldn't agree, and so what happened in the end was that the violence started, and they had to all agree that they would split the country in two.
He was quite close to the royal family. He was related to the king, and he was sort of very high sort of status within the establishment and everything, and also he was very good with people. On a one-to-one basis, and so very diplomatic, brought up in those circles, so he was thought of as a good bet in those terms.
My name is Silas Carson and I'm playing Jawaharlal Nehru, who became the first Prime Minister of India. He, along with Gandhi and Jinnah, set up the India Congress, the party that then became the Congress Party, which led India, and he was chosen as the leader who would go forward to become the Prime Minister of India.
Mountbatten was actually quite a sort of straightforward, kind of almost simplistic sort of figure, whereas Edwin actually was a lot smarter than he was in terms of understanding a lot more the sort of diplomacy and the currents of feeling and so on in the country.
He's a facet of history that not many people are aware of. I mean, they know that he was a great man and he did amazing things, but his actual character, I think people got the impression that he was a meek, gentle, sort of old man, you know. And in actual fact, I think he was a lot more feisty than that, you know. He was a militant, you know, he was a revolutionary.
It's a new play by Howard Brenton.
an amazing story, a piece of history that I knew something about, but I certainly didn't know about the specifics of drawing the line. So yeah, for me it was just, yeah, thank you very much, I'll take it.
Yeah, and they're great parts. I mean, you know, it's a as Lucy said, it's a wonderful story, almost an unbelievable story that one man with no experience of India or map making was asked to go and create a line that would become two countries.
It's an imagining of history, of what may have happened. You know, it's based around solid facts and solid evidence, but it's a version, it's Howard Benson's version of what may have happened.
It's an interesting story about how empire still impacts on the world today. I've just done a show about modern day Kashmir, and there's still a war going on now because of this line and where it was drawn. So I think it's important for a British audience to remember that the legacy of colonialism still goes on today.
Because it's a fascinating story, it's not just political. The amazing thing about this, why write a play about politics? The reason is, if you have great characters in it, you have a great play, and this is a part of history where the characters are just larger than life, extraordinary people. Gandhi, Nehru, Jinnah, the Mountbattens, Attlee, they were all, you know, amazing people caught in an horrific time of history.
I hope the audience are informed, but also the audience will be entertained, because the play is very witty. It is, believe it or not, it's not a heavy number, it's not preachy, it's not a history lesson. It's funny, it's very dark as well, but it also really drives home through the humour and the wit the enormity of that situation, historically what happened, and the knock-on effect that it has to this very day, you know, politically. So yeah, it's a great piece.
So this sounds like a fascinating play. I'm yet to see it, and I'm looking forward to it opening tomorrow. If you like what I do, hit the subscribe button. I do have a Patreon page which starts at £1 a month, which will help support the channel. So thanks very much for watching, and if you've any questions or comments, pop them down below. In fact, tell me what you think about it. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.